Hey y'all, today have like sort of a snow day, but we still have class online, so I'm gonna make this pretty quick because I only have 10 minutes until class. And we're reading Matthew chapter 17. Okay, this is called the Transfiguration. After 6 days, Jesus took with him Peter, James, and John, the brothers of James, and led them up on a high mountain by themselves. There he was transfigured before them. His face shone like the sun, and his clothes became as white as the light. Just then there appeared before them Moses and Elijah, talking with Jesus. Peter said to Jesus, "Lord, it is good for us to be here. If you wish, I will put up 3 shelters, one for you, one for Moses, and one for Elijah." While he was still speaking, a bright cloud covered them, and a voice from the cloud said, "This is my Son, whom I love. With him I am well pleased. Listen to him." When the disciples heard this, they fell face down to the ground, terrified. But Jesus came and touched them. "Get up," he said. "Don't be afraid." When they looked up, they saw no one except Jesus. As they were coming down the mountain, Jesus instructed them, "Don't tell anyone what you have seen until the Son of Man has been raised from the dead." The disciples asked him, "Why then do the teachers of the law say that Elijah must come first?" Jesus replied, "To be sure, Elijah comes and will restore all things. But I tell you, Elijah has already come, and they did not recognize him, but have done to him everything they wished. In the same way, the Son of Man is going to suffer at their hands." The disciples understood that he was talking to them about John the Baptist. When they came to the crowd, a man approached Jesus and knelt before him. Oh, and this is called Jesus Heals a Demon-Possessed Boy. Verse 14. When they came to the crowd, a man approached Jesus and knelt before him. "Lord, have mercy on my son," he said. "He has seizures and is suffering greatly. He often falls into the fire or into the water. I brought him to your disciples, but they could not heal him." "You unbelieving and perverse generation," Jesus replied, "how long shall I stay with you? How long shall I put up with you? Bring the boy here to me." Jesus rebuked the demon, and it came out of the boy, and he was healed at that moment. Then the disciples came to Jesus in private and asked, "Why couldn't we drive it out?" He replied, "Because you have so little faith. Truly I tell you, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, 'Move from here to there,' and it will move. Nothing will be impossible for you." That's crazy, because I often ask myself this question: why couldn't I heal them by my prayer? Like, why didn't this happen? Is it really because that was not in God's plan and timing, or is it because I have so little faith and that I'm not believing that Jesus could actually do it? Okay, now we're on verse 22. Jesus predicts his death a second time. When they came together in Galilee, he said to them, "The Son of Man is going to be delivered into the hands of men. They will kill him. And on the 3rd day he will be raised to life." And the disciples were filled with grief. Verse 24, the temple tax. After Jesus and his disciples arrived in Capernaum, the collectors of the 2 drachma temple tax came to Peter and asked, "Doesn't your teacher pay the temple tax?" "Yes, he does," he replied. When Peter came into the house, Jesus was the first to speak. "What do you think, Simon?" he asked. From whom do the kings of the earth collect duty and taxes? From their own children or from others? From others, Peter answered. Then the children are exempt, Jesus said to him. But so that we may not cause offense, go to the lake and throw out your line. Take the first fish you catch, open its mouth, and you will find a 4 drachma coin. Take it and give it to them for my tax and yours. That's crazy. So the temple tax, I guess you had to pay a tax in order to go into the temple? That seems kind of bizarre. And then I don't really understand in verse 25 where it says, from whom do the kings of the earth collect duty and taxes? From their own children or from others? Oh, I get it. So like the kings, who are they collecting the taxes from? Are they collecting it from their children or from the people in the kingdom? And they collect it from others, and their children are exempt, Jesus is saying. But to not cause offense, they're paying the tax. That's really interesting. I think I'd like to look up that more of like what the temple tax was, and did people really have to pay in order to enter into the temple of God? Like, I know offering and tithing and like those things are important, but to force people to pay like a fixed rate, that just seems bizarre. Anyways, so that was Matthew chapter 17, and we'll read Matthew chapter 18 tomorrow. Peace!